now for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, Springfield. I'd like to welcome everyone to the September 13th, 2021 Township of Springfield Planning Board meeting. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Laws. Notice was published on January 8th, 2021 in the Star Ledger, which is the official newspaper for the Township of Springfield for 2021, and is posted on the Annex Building on January 11th, 2021. Let's do the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under
indivisible,
God,
with liberty.
liberty and justice for all.
Perfect. Great. Okay, so our board secretary is out. So Mr. Disco, you are our assistant board secretary. Thank you for filling in as engineer and board secretary today.
I'll proceed to take the roll.
Yes, please.
Mayor Chris Weber,
Here.
Committeeman Rich Huber,
Present.
David Barnett,
Here.
Andrew Schwartz,
Here.
Aaron Laufer,
Here.
Brian Brendel,
Here.
Marissa Ruggiero, Vice Chair Sharon Kessel,
Here.
Chairman Jeff Tiger,
Here.
Thomas Lopes,
Here.
Scott Wishna.
Here.
You certainly have a quorum.
Perfect. Okay, and Andrew did join. I see him on video, which is perfect. So we have the full board, which is great. Okay, so our minutes of August 2021, I know they were posted on the Google Drive. If anyone has a chance to review them, any questions or concerns, I entertain a motion to approve the August 2021 minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
Chairman, I'm going to have to abstain. I was not there last meeting.
That's correct. Thank you, Mr. Lopes.
Huh?
Okay, motion passes. Okay, for the record of the public, our next meeting is going to be October. I'm just going to put on the record right now. We're going to require, it's going to be October 4th at 6:30 p.m. You can look on the township website for instructions how to connect. We're going to be moving our meeting from 6 to 6:30 p.m. and our board secretary will be asked to notice of that change going forward.
Mr. Chair,
I'm
I'm here. For
You're
the
here.
record. Yeah.
Perfect. And thank you for joining. I know Mr. Disco was sweating bullets about being the board secretary today. So thanks for joining.
No
So
problem.
the board, we're going to move our meetings. We're going to keep our regular schedule dates. Nothing's going to change, but we're going to change to 6:30 p.m. going forward for the remaining of the year. We have two project updates before we go to the resolution. Our project updates by Mr. Disco is the Gomes redevelopment. I know that we've seen a lot of things go on. I know there's been some questions that school's starting now. That one of the big things before the application was approved was the amended approval was the cartway to the pathway to allow the kids to go to Caldwell. Mr. Disco was going to update us real quick on the project and answer any questions about that as well.
So up until about 2 months ago, we had a nice steady pace. We had the steel being constructed coming out of the ground. And over the last, I'd say, month and a half, it's been very much slower. A lot of factors go into that. I think they had as required by the state, you have to have a specialty steel inspector. They changed that inspector. You could read between the lines as to why that happened, but they now have a new steel inspector in place. We were at the job site this morning. We expect to get the steel reports to the building department at the end of this week. They are pending a sprinkler plan submission to the building department that's required before they start going up and enclosing. The original plan 2 months ago was to have them enclosed along Caldwell so that they would be working in the interior from Thanksgiving on. They are now behind schedule on that. The parking floor will be poured hopefully at the end of this week. They've been pumping water for the last week and a half and have only recently got it manageable on the bottom where they're going to bring in stone and get it. In terms of the access there, we met We were proactive and met with the developer and the police department prior to the onset of school. The applicant laid out what they thought would be a appropriate channelization of pedestrian access on that eastern side of Caldwell Place, but it would trigger a 3-foot wide minimum access aisle, which may or may not have ADA accessibility, and then another Jersey barrier, base of which is at least 2 feet wide. And the police said that that would render Caldwell Place, which is pretty narrow right now, even further. And the thought was that that would be more dangerous having a narrower route than providing for the channelized walkway along there. So they gave them detour signs to put up, which they did put up. And police have monitored that. And so at the present time, we don't have pedestrian access on the eastern side alongside the project.
And how
In
does,
conformance with the police.
so the police are fine with this because of.
It's
you know,
safer than the alternative, which was to provide it at this time. Once the building goes up another story and they can enclose it, the plan was for them to build a bridge like Rich would see in New York City often. And so they would be able to walk under a protected wooden or metal access path.
Yeah, I'll open it up to the board, but I don't know what jurisdiction we have or whatever, but this was one of the big things to make sure the kids were able to go back to school. And it was actually to go back to school Thanksgiving when they were supposed to be in school, but they were out because of COVID from a standpoint. So I don't know how the board feels,
This is the safest way to do it. We looked into putting a bridge up, couldn't do it. It would be too dangerous for the kids. We have a crossing guard there, mornings, afternoons when kids are getting out. So that's the way it was decided. I mean, committee, we talked to the people, we talked to everybody, and this is the safest way to do it.
Okay, good. All right.
It can be reevaluated in maybe 3 months if they have the progress of the second story up. So.
Okay.
For the
Anything
time
from
being,
the board? Anything from the board?
I don't have anything on the sidewalk issue. I'm fine with whatever police recommends. I just had a question. How'd they do it in the storm? Was there a lot of water down there?
Yeah, a lot of water in the lower floor. They get water under normal conditions with high groundwater. So this rain, they've been pumping since that thing, and they've been pumping over the entire week, past weekend.
Is that gonna be an issue once the building is built? Are there pumps down? I forgot the plan. Are they putting pumps down there?
Yeah, they have pumps incorporated into it.
Yeah.
They're just not in place yet.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay. Okay, the next thing, seeing if there's no other questions, was Nissan World. That you updated the board maybe 4 or 6 months ago. I don't know the exact thing that you filed municipal complaint against them, or the zoning officer did. They've asked for it to be on hold, and they were supposed to appear back before the board in like August, September. That's passed. If you can give us an update on where they are with that.
Yeah, they went to court. They punted to the judge a couple of times, but they did go to court. A fine is pending. They've asked for the relief for that. The judge is not being sympathetic to them. They've cleaned up the site, took all the weeds down. They put a better fence around it. They removed all the cars. We re-inspected this morning just so that I would give the most accurate information. And all of the debris has been removed. They previously had, a whole host of debris, including toilets and stuff just laying there. So the site is as cleaned up. There's cones on the accesses. And the next court date is October 27th. Mr. Schiller, their attorney, did indicate he would be making a board appearance. As of today, we have not seen that come in, but I would think it's pretty soon that's going to happen.
Okay.
When they last talked, all of the engineering firms and surveying and planning firms, everybody's very behind schedule. So they indicated they were waiting on their professionals, and that's probably accurate. So.
Okay.
But the fine is pending. The judge is not relieving them of the fine. They said that they had ample notice to deal with this, and they didn't. So, but as of right now, the site is a much better place than what it was.
Perfect. You're comfortable where it is right now?
Yes.
Any members of the board wish to speak? No, seeing none, then we'll move to resolutions. We have a resolution which is application 12-2019 SA. This was Jeswan Enterprises, 60 Fadum Road, block 3803, lot 5. This was for site plan amendment with a variance for a generator. The board reviewed this, acted favorably on this. I think the resolution is on the Google Drive. Everyone's had a chance to review it. If no one has any concerns, I think Mr. Weber wanted to make a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Can we do a roll call?
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
Mr. Brendel, Yes. Committeeman Huber,
Yes.
Mr. Barnett,
Yes.
Mr. Lancer.
Sorry, did you call? Was that me? I didn't hear
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Yes,
Mr.
I vote yes.
Okay. Ms. Ruggiero,
Yes.
Mr. Wishna,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel,
Yes.
Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the next application is application 6-2021S. This is for RDH-ACH LLC, 173 Mountain Avenue, block 802, lot 11. This is for preliminary and final site plan with the generator. For the board's knowledge, I believe my kids go to that orthodontist. And I was just there less than a week ago. So to avoid any conflicts of interest, I'm going to recuse myself. Ms. Kessel is going to take over as the as chairwoman, but I will just remain on and watch. Anyone else has any conflicts?
I do. My daughter also goes there.
I will also recuse myself for the same reason.
Okay, I still think we have a quorum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have at least 6 people. So, which is good. So I'll turn it over to Sharon and you can take attendance and do all your stuff. So thank you.
Okay. Is the applicant signed on? I don't see anyone.
Apu, can you pull in Richard Sherman, please? As well as, oh, Brett's on there. Okay, just Rich Sherman. He'll direct you. And it looks like Anthony has raised his hand, him too.
Oh, now I see people.
Thanks, Apu.
Richard, Anthony, and Brett, can you put your video on?
Oh, sorry. Hi.
All the squares are moving around now. Wait a minute. Is everyone here? I'm just going to give you, the applicants, a few minutes to turn on the, oh, there we go.
And you guys can see me okay, correct? This is Anthony Ficino.
Wait a minute, you moved. Yes, I can see you now.
Okay, great.
Okay. Before we begin, I just wanted to ask Mike Disco just for his brief rundown and thoughts regarding this particular application.
The applicant came before this board in 2018 when the previous bank building was converted to the dentistry office. It was a site plan at that time. There was a slight addition to the east side of Mountain Avenue. They installed landscaping. They reconfigured the parking lot. There was a sign variance, and they've been in operation now for the 3 years after they completed the building. And at this time, they're seeking permission or site plan approval for the installation of the generator. The generator is going in the area where there's a current refuse area, and it will require slight reconfiguration of that and some landscape planting repositioning.
Okay.
That's essentially what the application is.
Do you have any issues or concerns with the application, Mr. Disco?
I have no issues. The earlier land use amendments that we did this year made the generator a a permitted accessory structure, so it doesn't require variance relief. It's essentially hugging the rear of the building. It's on a corner lot, so there's technically 2 front yards, but it's the rear of the building, which faces the subdivision on Clinton Avenue that the board may recall from 2 years ago, I think.
Okay, and to the applicant, is that essentially your understanding? Did Mr. Disco summarize what the application is?
Yes, he did.
Okay, do you have anything else you want to add before I turn it over to the board for any comments?
I would just like to say Anthony Fascino is from Casey and Keller, and he was going to address the comments that Mr. Hughes had and Mr. Disco had in their letters. You want to proceed with that? Can we qualify Anthony?
He has to be sworn in. Mr. Keynes?
Sure. Anthony, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yep.
You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth in the proceedings before the board tonight, so help you God?
Yes.
Anthony, how do you spell your last name?
The last name is Ficino. F as in Frank, Acchino. My business address is 258 Main Street, Millburn, New Jersey, 07041.
Anthony, by whom are you employed?
Casey and Keller.
And are you a licensed professional engineer in the state of New Jersey?
Yes, I have a current New Jersey professional engineer's license as well as a planner's license and a land surveying license.
And they're all valid as of tonight, right, Anthony?
That's correct.
And have you ever testified before this board before?
I had to check my records, but yes, I did. Back in 2006, I did
That's too
testify. So it's been a while, but yes, I have testified before this board, but I have testified before many boards in the area. So I've done a lot of site plans and subdivisions of this magnitude.
Okay. Is the board willing to accept Anthony's qualifications?
Yes.
Okay. Anthony, let me ask you a question or two, and maybe we can cut to the chase. You heard the preliminary comments of Mr. Disco. Let me just ask one question. Is this going to be a minor site plan or is this preliminary and final site plan, Mike?
I believe it can qualify as a minor as there's no expansion of the building and less than 5 parking spaces are impacted.
That's what I thought too. So I just wanted to make sure. All right. If we can get back to Anthony, you heard all the preliminary comments. Do you have any problems with anything that Michael said as the setup on this?
I do not.
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry.
I don't know if they wanted us to add anything regarding the noise or the location of it and landscaping. I'll be more than happy to provide some testimony on that.
I would suggest that you just address any open issues that Michael or Keenan have. You don't have to go through the reports line by line. I think the chairwoman kind of made it pretty clear.
Yeah, no, I got you. Okay, so I'll try and make this really, really brief. I'm going to talk about the generator. The size of the generator is only 3x6, and it's only going to be about 3.25 feet high. There is an enclosure around the generator. And in accordance with the municipal code, the state code of the sound levels, the generator is allowed to have, the state standard is 65 decibels. Based on the manufacturing specifications, which are shown on sheet 2 of my set, specify that the generator will, during test phase, will only generate 59 decibels, and at 23 feet away from the property line. Our generator is located 73 feet away from any residential property, so we will comply with the sound standard of the state. As far as landscaping is concerned, we need to relocate one arborvitae, and by relocating the arborvitae, I believe will also provide a buffer from the residents as well as the Clinton Avenue view. I think that pretty much covers questions from the reports that I saw.
Did you obtain county planning board approval, or did they waive county planning board, Anthony?
I'm not quite sure we even need county approval because it's for a generator, so we're not adding any parking or
Well, technically Anthony, here's the problem. It's technically a site plan. I don't think the county has any jurisdiction either. I
Yeah.
think I'm recommending you just supply it to them for informational purposes only.
Well, we'll do. Absolutely, we'll do. We'll get an exemption letter. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else for me to tell you. Oh, just so everybody understands, because it's kind of a little confusing. The dumpster enclosure has an existing 4-foot high picket fence, or not picket fence, I'm sorry, solid white fence with a, it's visible on top with a lattice on top. Thank you very much. With a lattice on top. That fence, all it's going to do right now, it's a 10 by 10 area. The doctor only really needs a 6 by 10 area because he only has 6 garbage cans in there. So there's way too much space there. So we decided based on by site visit, and the best place to put the generator would be just right next to where the refuse area is. But the generator will not have a fence around it. Just the refuse area will have a fence around it. Okay.
Okay.
Just
Any
wanted to
other
clarify
comments?
that.
Any other comments? Okay. So now I'll open it up to the board for discussion. I'll start with Mr. Laufer.
I have no questions.
Mr. Weber,
No questions.
Mr. Barnett,
Oh, pretty straightforward. Thank you.
Mr. Schwartz,
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. Lopes,
Nothing here. Thank you.
Mr. Wishna.
I recused
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
already,
who-
so even if I had a question, I couldn't answer. I couldn't ask.
Mr. Brandell.
No, nothing here.
Okay. And given that there were no questions, I would like someone to entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, just 1 second. I don't
Yeah.
think we opened it to the public.
Oh, okay. Is there any, I'd like to make a motion to open this to the public.
I'll second it, even though you forgot me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Rich.
That's all.
Can I have a second? Oh, did someone second it?
I
Seconded
did,
it?
Drew.
Okay. Is there anyone from the public? Jen? I don't see anyone in the chat or Apu.
No, there's no one there.
Okay.
Eileen,
Give-
I
Given
would
that-
confirm with Keenan that his comments have been addressed.
Yes, confirmed. No further comments or questions.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All right, now, I'd like to have someone make a motion to approve. Is this, Mr. Keynes, is this a minor site plan?
I believe that it is, Madam Chair.
So it would be a preliminary and minor site plan? for
No,
the-
it would just be minor site. plan.
Just okay. Okay, I'd like to have somebody make a motion to approve the minor site plan.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the minor site plan for application 6-21 -S for RDH-ACH LLC.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Barnett,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber,
yes.
Mayor Weber,
Yes.
Mr. Schwartz,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Laufer,
Yes.
Mr. Brendel,
Yes.
Mr. Lopes,
Yes.
and Acting Chair Kessel.
Yes,
Motion passes, ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you
And
very much.
with that, turn it back over to Mr. Tiger if he has any closing comments.
Nope. So the next, well, we have to open up to the public again. So anyone, members of the public that wish to speak on any business before the planning board? Let's see, Apu, if there's anyone.
None.
Seeing none, I'm going to close it to the public and just bring it back to the board to reiterate that our next meeting is Monday, October 4th at 6:30 p.m. Information will come out from Ms. Law regarding the information on the applications and the link to connect. And can I have a motion to close this meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, bye, everyone. See you next month. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Sure, guys.